During one mystery, Shaggy develops a strange illness that makes him scream non-stop. The Mystery Inc. gang has no choice but to take him to see a doctor. The doctor immediately asks what has happened, so they tell him about that fateful night. That night, Mystery Inc. is investigating an old mansion haunted by phantom naval officers without realizing that they are being watched, since they can't gather enough clues. Fred suggests splitting into two groups to make the investigation easier. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are assigned to check the basement. Although neither of them likes the idea, the moment Shaggy points his flashlight forward, the ghosts of the phantom naval officers spot them. While they run, Scooby-Doo accidentally knocks Shaggy straight into the arms of a ghost, forcing Shaggy to fight his way out alone. Ghosts appear everywhere, leaving Shaggy with no choice but to hide inside a cabinet, only to discover that the ghosts are already waiting there. Meanwhile, as the other members are running, the ghosts suddenly freeze in place. Fred quickly realizes they are only puppets being controlled by someone else, but even when the criminals are about to be sent to prison, Shaggy still keeps screaming. It seems truly hopeless. The doctor orders an X-ray and discovers that Shaggy suffers from an extremely rare condition, one that occurs only in about 1 out of 10 million people, acute hypertrophic disorder, a very rare kind of overreaction to fear. The doctor's only advice is that Shaggy must give up anything that might frighten him. That means no more detective adventures, no more solving mysteries. His words shock the gang, but Shaggy doesn't care much. For him, having a full stomach is enough. After that, the gang struggles to figure out what to do next. Shaggy, Velma, and Daphne realize their lives are unbearably dull without solving mysteries. Suddenly, Fred shows up with bad news. He fails his science class. His professor dislikes his automatic trap project, and unless he comes up with another design to replace it, he will fail to graduate. At this moment, Daphne thinks of her uncle, who invests in a spa resort in Lost Serena. Right next to it, a paleontological excavation is taking place, so her uncle can arrange a room in the spa for Mystery Inc. to support the excavation. This means Shaggy can completely relax and not worry about anything that might scare him, so the gang climbs into the mystery machine and heads straight to Lost Serena. Before long, they arrive at Daphne's uncle's spa resort. Greeting Mystery Inc. is the manager Hubley, who quickly leads everyone to rest after the long journey. Right then, Scooby-Doo's and Shaggy's stomachs growl with hunger. Hearing this, Hubley points toward the town and says that a barbecue is being held there. Thanks to that, the bottomless stomachs of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are finally filled. Both of them eat so much that they can't move for a while, so they tell the others to go ahead, while the two of them walk around to settle their stomachs. At this moment, Shaggy remembers he still has a piece of cake in his pocket, so he wants to eat it. But while sharing it with Scooby-Doo, he accidentally drops it, and a lizard seizes the chance to snatch it away. Unwilling to let food slip through their fingers, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy chase after the lizard. While running ahead, Scooby-Doo suddenly sees a creature he never imagines he will encounter in his life. The dinosaur immediately terrifies Scooby-Doo, forcing him to flee. He tries to tell Shaggy about what he just saw, but Shaggy doesn't believe him. Meanwhile, the other three go to see Professor Svankmajer's paleontological excavation. She quickly leads Mystery Inc. deep inside so they can see the dinosaur fossils with their own eyes. Their Velma unexpectedly develops a crush on Svankmajer's student Windsor. Like a girl in love for the first time, Velma eagerly flirts with Windsor. The two realize they have many things in common, so they keep getting closer. At that moment, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy return, carrying a large bone. Professor Svankmajer quickly recognizes that it could be a major discovery, because it is the thigh bone of an ancient dinosaur. Night soon falls and everyone decides to rest. But none of them expects the ghost of the Phantosaur to appear. The instant Shaggy sees it, he nearly bursts into tears. He is so terrified that his legs refuse to move in front of the ghostly dinosaur. Seeing his best friend frozen in fear, Scooby-Doo refuses to abandon him, dragging Shaggy up the hill as they try to escape. Using a pulley car, the two narrowly avoid death again and again. But the ghost of the Phantosaur is relentless. It blocks the cave entrance and almost puts both of them in grave danger. At the same time, the others get on the mystery machine to figure out a way to rescue Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. With his incredible driving skills, Scooby-Doo manages to dodge the ghost of the Phantosaur's attacks by swerving left and right again and again. He barely escapes this ordeal when another danger appears right away, because in front of him there is nothing but a dead end. For a moment it looks like this is the end, but luckily Mystery Inc. arrives just in time, so both Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are saved at the very last second. However, Shaggy doesn't look okay at all. His body keeps going stiff, while the ghost of the Phantosaur vanishes into thin air, leaving Mystery Inc. to realize this could be another mystery they need to solve. After that, they bring Shaggy back to the spa resort. Hubley tries to use a special fragrance to see if it can wake Shaggy, but it has no effect. So Scooby-Doo has no choice but to step in. He takes out the familiar scent of a Scooby snack and it works. Shaggy wakes up immediately. Hubley quickly realizes that what they just went through is tied to the legend of the Phantosaur dinosaur. Long ago, this land was once home to the Native Americans, also known as the Topea. But their peaceful life does not last, because soon the Europeans arrive and directly wage war, with only primitive weapons. The Native Americans are quickly overwhelmed. With no other choice, they pray to the spirits for help. In response, the gods send them a dinosaur called the Phantosaur to drive away the Spanish invaders. But the Phantosaur turns out to be too powerful to control. It ends up attacking both sides, friend and foe alike. The legend says it still wanders silently through this land. Hubley explains that he read this story in a book, so Mystery Inc. doesn't need to worry too much. Still seeing that Shaggy cannot escape from his paralyzing fear, Hubley leads everyone to his hypnosis machine, a device that allows him to put anyone into a state of psychological suggestion with ease. Not wanting the others to get involved, he tells them to wait outside for a moment. Then he quickly hypnotizes Shaggy, turning him into someone brave and unstoppable whenever he hears the word bad. In English, bad has many meanings, such as bad itself or not bad, which means not terrible. The moment Hubley snaps his fingers, Shaggy forgets everything, and even Hubley himself is affected. He forgets the keyword to trigger Shaggy's fearless personality. But Hubley assures them it is not too serious because he chose a very common word, and Mystery Inc. will be able to figure it out soon enough. Next, they split up. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy decide to go look for food first, while Velma, Fred, and Daphne head back to Professor Svankmajer's place to investigate the ghost of the Phantosaur. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy soon stop at a diner, where the waitress worries they won't be able to finish such a massive order. But the moment she turns her back, every last bite is gone. Just then a motorcycle gang storms into the place. They're loud, rowdy, and keep wrecking the diner, giving the poor waitress a headache. Shaggy is about to take a bite of his hot dog when it suddenly slips from his hands and smacks one of the bikers in the head, before he and Scooby-Doo can escape their grab. But the gang makes a fatal mistake when one of them says that what's about to happen is going to be bad. That single word instantly triggers Shaggy's hidden alter ego. No one expects that with a body so thin and bony, Shaggy can move with such speed and agility, yet he dodges every strike. And even alone, he manages to hold his ground against the whole gang. One after another rushes at him and one after another falls. In no time, the biker gang lies defeated at Shaggy's fists. A straggler who arrives late takes one look at his fallen crew and gives up, but their leader refuses to back down. Seeing Shaggy defeat his entire gang, Tex grows intrigued and proposes to settle things like real men with a motorcycle race. The race will take place at midnight at the deadly curve known as Dead Man's Turn. Without hesitation, Shaggy agrees and sets the time. Tex hears Shaggy's confident reply and smirks, calling him not bad. That single compliment, however, shatters Shaggy's fearless persona. His usual timid self returns, and he suddenly realizes he has just placed one foot in the grave. Regret floods in, but it's too late. Meanwhile, Velma, Fred, and Daphne are investigating near the paleontological dig site, alongside the footprints of the ghost of the Phantosaur. They notice long crawling tracks that look eerily like those of giant snakes. They decide to push deeper, but inside they run into Windsor, who warns them not to go too far because of the snakes. After that, he takes Velma aside to talk privately, and Daphne can't shake the feeling that something is wrong. Later, Windsor asks Velma out on a date that evening, and she surprisingly agrees. Fred and Daphne, who have been eavesdropping from a distance, see that everything seems fine, so they head off to investigate elsewhere. The two of them stumble upon Deitch and Babbitt, employees of the Thaumatrope Mining Company. The men are there to clean up yesterday's scene because they accidentally left behind a tooth from the ghost of the Phantosaur. It turns out they have been scaring people away to seize the land and secretly mine the silver buried underneath. Fred and Daphne then begin digging deeper into the mining company's schemes, while Velma is too distracted by her upcoming date with Windsor to focus. Just then, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy burst in with panic all over their faces. Shaggy hurriedly explains how he single-handedly defeated an entire gang but also agreed to race their leader at midnight. The real problem is that Shaggy doesn't know how to ride a motorcycle, which means tonight could very well be his last. Luckily, Daphne has experience riding, so she quickly starts giving Shaggy a crash course in motorcycling. Before long, night falls, and Windsor takes Velma to a Chinese restaurant. While ordering food, both of them suddenly realize that the person sitting across the table feels uncannily like another version of themselves. On the other hand, the rest of the gang already start giving Shaggy a crash course in motorcycle riding. Daphne speeds ahead and tells him he just needs to follow her lead. But she doesn't expect Shaggy to twist the throttle too hard, and suddenly he loses control. In an instant, he turns into a wild beast set free from its cage. Charging down the road with reckless abandon, he races forward without caring what lies ahead, somehow keeping his grip steady on the handlebars. At one point, he even manages to spin around and ride the motorcycle while facing backward. Fred and Daphne take advantage of the moment Shaggy rushes past to let Scooby-Doo hop on and follow him. Together they almost collide with Windsor and Velma, who have just finished their date. Seeing how dangerous things are getting, Velma quickly borrows Windsor's keychain, uses it to pull down an electrical wire, and manages to stop both Scooby-Doo and Shaggy just in time. Soon after, midnight arrives, and Shaggy shows up at Dead Man's Curve. Tex acknowledges him as a real man, impressed that Shaggy actually dares to come. We're about to do some bad and crazy things. The moment Shaggy hears the word bad, his fearless alter ego awakens again. As soon as the flag drops, Shaggy and Tex slam on the throttle and shoot forward. The others watch in disbelief. None of them expect Shaggy to be bold enough to take Tex head-on at Dead Man's Curve. Using the advantage of being in front, Tex damages the road to block Shaggy's path. But to his surprise, Shaggy doesn't stop. Instead, with sheer recklessness, he rides straight upward, gaining momentum and leaping across the abyss. In that breathtaking moment, Shaggy even overtakes Tex. The race nears its climax when Tex suddenly slips while trying to pass and ends up dangling from the edge of a cliff. Everyone panics, fearing the worst scene, but Shaggy stretches out his arm and pulls Tex to safety. His unexpected act of chivalry earns a round of applause from the crowd. The race continues until something even crazier happens. The ghost of the Phantosaur suddenly blocks the road ahead of both Shaggy and Tex. Shaggy mutters to himself that this is really bad for ruining the race, and instantly his timid, fearful personality returns. Scooby-Doo wants to help Shaggy, but instead Shaggy accidentally drags him along into the chaos. At that moment, Velma, Fred, and Daphne spot a truck belonging to the Thaumatrope Mining Company, and Fred quickly comes up with a plan, while Scooby-Doo and Shaggy serve as bait to distract the Phantosaur. The rest of the gang pump water into the mining company's vehicle. As soon as Deitch and Babbitt jump out, Velma and Daphne trap them. The mystery is solved at last. Deitch and Babbitt are the ones behind the ghost of the Phantosaur. They had stolen the fossilized body from a real-life dinosaur exhibit sponsored by the Thaumatrope Mining Company. By using electric cables, they made the skeleton move, which explains the crawling tracks. They even sprayed it with fluorescent paint to make it look more like the legend. Their true goal all along was the silver mine beneath the land, and that was why they staged everything. Then the police arrive to take the two into custody, but Mystery Inc. is surprised. It usually takes much longer to wrap things up. They hop back into the mystery machine and head toward the spa resort when Hubley comes running in a panic. He says something terrible has happened. Someone broke into the resort and stole the advanced holographic projector, but from the traces left behind, the gang can already tell this isn't the work of humans. A pack of velociraptors suddenly bursts out, sending everyone into chaos. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy try to hide under a fountain, only to find one of the creatures waiting right beside them. Meanwhile, the others search for cover, but before they know it, they're completely surrounded. Just when it seems hopeless, the raptors retreat at the sound of another roar. The gang races toward town only to find it engulfed in flames. The ghost of the Phantosaur has truly awakened, breath fire and tear through everything, even phasing through solid walls. The biker gang rest nearby, hear the terrified screams of innocent people. They can't stand by, so they charge out and quickly take down the raptors. At that moment, Mystery Inc. arrives on the scene, but all they see are police officers fleeing in terror from the Phantosaur. Velma seizes the chance to snap photos of both the ghost and the raptors for evidence. When the road ahead is blocked, the Phantosaur burrows underground, re-emerges on the far side, lets out a roar, and then vanishes into thin air. The gang realizes another mystery still waits to be solved. Using Velma's photos, they bring the evidence to Professor Svankmajor. She explains the creatures have attacked not only the town but also the paleontology site. When they ask where Windsor is, she claims she sent him home for safety, but they quickly see through her lie. Fred declares he has a plan to expose the archaeologists. Night falls, and Fred chooses this moment to act. Mystery Inc. sneaks into the excavation site. Velma, desperate to know Windsor's whereabouts, shouts to draw attention, and within seconds the velociraptors appear, and Fred signals the others to scatter marbles to trip them up. To their shock, behind the raptor masks are just newly graduated students, but then the ghost of the Phantosaur storms in, roaring so loud that it shakes them. It singles out Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, attacking them relentlessly. While the ghost is distracted, the gang regroups, just as the monster is about to unleash its fire breath. Everyone pulls out fire extinguishers and fights back. At last, the ghost of the Phantosaur is defeated. Professor Svangmajor and Windsor realize their deception has been exposed, so they flee. The truth comes out that the flames were nothing but paint-stripping devices, blowing superheated air to mimic fire. Then Mystery Inc. catches up with Professor Svangmajor and Windsor, but they don't expect to witness with their own eyes a complete dinosaur encased in quartz crystal. A breathtaking and priceless discovery that Svangmajor and Windsor want to keep for themselves, if the world ever learns about it. The dinosaur would belong to the town since this is public land. Their plan is to scare everyone away long enough to dig it out. The ghost of the Phantosaur is upgraded thanks to Hubley's stolen advanced holographic projector. And on top of that, they disguise 4 recent graduates in Velociraptor suits. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy wonder how they plan to haul a whole dinosaur locked in crystal up to the surface. Svangmajor and Windsor's answer is chillingly simple. They'll just blow this place apart. Once the town is deserted, they will trigger the explosives using a paint stripper device. But what no one expects is that Daphne accidentally sets it off, leaving them with no choice but to find a way out as fast as possible. Svangmajor admits the situation is extremely bad, so they're forced to take a path swarming with nearly 8 million cobras and bats. What she doesn't realize is that this activates Shaggy's brave persona. Before long, everyone arrives at the den of countless cobras. Shaggy quickly hatches a plan. First, chase away the bats above, then leap across the rocks and climb upward, kicking down stone pillars to form a bridge for the others. Time is running out, so they all hurry across. But Velma freezes in fear and is unable to move. Seeing the pillars sink one by one, Shaggy topples another stone column to open a path just for her. Soon they spot a hole where moonlight pours into the cavern. It is their way out. Shaggy's plan is daring. He'll jump to the next rock, cling to the wall, and slowly work his way toward the hole. Everything seems to be going well until Daphne calls out, praising him with a "not bad." At that very moment, his timid personality resurfaces, leaving him unsure of what to do next. Everyone rallies behind him, reminding Shaggy that no matter which side of him is in control, he is still himself, and even a fearful Shaggy can act with courage. Encouraged, he musters the strength to leap across the cliff and climbs up, where Tex is waiting with a steady hand to pull him to safety. It turns out the biker gang knew Mystery Inc. was trapped below, so they have been standing guard at the only exit all night. Thanks to them, everyone is rescued, just as Windsor, who is the last to climb up. The bombs beneath the cave explode, the earth shakes violently, forcing them all to flee, and when the dust finally clears, the full dinosaur encased in quartz is revealed in its glory. The police arrive to take Svangmajor and Windsor into custody. Velma, watching her crush being hauled away, quietly promises him another date once he's out of prison. Now there's only one last thing for Mystery Inc. to do: bring Shaggy back to normal. As soon as Hubley snaps his fingers, Shaggy should return to his usual self, but Hubley forgets to tell the others to step outside, and the result is hilarious. Every single member of Mystery Inc. suddenly wears Shaggy's face.